My name is Brandon Balmaceda and I am 24 years old. So I have a heart condition, and that condition is called single ventricle. My parents found out while I was still in the womb. They do just the typical scans on the baby.
I was shocked, very confused on what we should do as a first-time parent. But after listening to Dr. Kokalis, who was Brandon's first cardiologist, we felt it was the best decision to have Michelle keep the pregnancy and have our first child born. We were very happy knowing that we all got to experience the excitement and the happiness of Brandon being alive, but at the same time we knew that he was going to have to go over to the NICU and being taken care of by the nurses in that unit until his first surgery. It was my mom and dad, Lolo and Lola, and Michelle's parents, Oma and Opa. That was it.
So I have had a total of 3 open heart surgeries. These all happened before the age of 2. I don't remember any of them. In terms of the surgeries fixing the issue, they certainly did save my life. Without the surgeries, I wouldn't have lived even close to this long. But in terms of like curing the issue, there's no long-term cure. I just have to work with what part of the heart they had and make it so that it works as best as it could.
I can say by having 2 other children, it wasn't normal. So you take a little more precaution with your child because you know that he's facing the first open heart surgery and the recovery. The second open heart surgery, I think, was around 18 months. Then the last one was in the first 2 years. So
this impacted my childhood in a few ways, mostly just from a physical standpoint. There are a lot of limitations on what I could do in terms of exercise and playing, and my doctors always wanted me to be cautious and take things easy and not overexert myself. I would say that it hasn't affected my adult life as much as when I was a kid. As they've learned more and more, they've kind of been less conservative in what, holding me back on doing things. One thing I'm proud of is the fact that I don't really let the condition affect me much anymore. It doesn't bother me. I don't feel any different than anyone else. And in terms of being proud of like a physical accomplishment, this past year we went to Mammoth for the first time growing up. The doctor said I couldn't do high elevations, but as I've gotten older, that limit has been removed, so I was pretty happy to go. Yeah, overall, it doesn't affect my daily life that much. There's small things here and there, getting tired easier. It's hard to compare because it's all I've really ever known, but there's nothing that if someone were to just look at me that they'd notice that something. There hasn't really been a time that I've been really scared for my life. Every time I've had to go in for surgery, I've always been pretty nervous. Just any time you're being put under is always pretty nerve-wracking, but overall I haven't had anything super scary that I can remember. It's probably a bit different for my parents, as most of this happened when I was young.
you are concerned every waking minute. Eventually fall asleep and you wake up and you're dealing with the same situation. So you know what is going to happen and you pray every day that everything will go well.
I think that growing up with my condition, it certainly gave me a different outlook on life than for me. It gave me an outlook of appreciating life more, realizing how quickly it can be taken away from you. So just to appreciate the moments that you do have and try to make the most of them. I think that you should always be kind and try not to assume and judge. You never know what someone's going through, so everyone is going through their own thing. Just by looking at someone, it's just impossible to imagine what they're going through. So just try to be kind and understanding.